What's going on? We'll get started here in a second. Sam, that was quick. You're the first one in here. Holy crap. Interesting. No severe warnings right now. All right. We'll start to watch the bottom edge of this. All right. Dimitri, what's going on? Ashton, what's going on? Jasmine, what's popping? That was quick. Any snow for the Texas area? Oh, hey, I like what the new model runs are doing for you guys. We're going to go over that in a second. Obviously, you got a storm system right now. Nice little low. It's actually looking pretty nice on the radar. Moving through the states. Some heavy rainfall moving up into Iowa right now. Towards Illinois. Through Missouri. Heavy rain to portions of northern Kansas and eastern Nebraska as well. Winter storm warnings. I know probably the majority of people up here are excited to be in a winter storm warning because you're like, yay, we're getting snow, right? Anyone out in this region? Get some snow in the mountains. This is going to end up being some snow for you guys pushing through here, which is good. Some more snow scattering throughout the Rockies. Hey, loving the new model runs. Who was in my stream last night? Anyone in here right now? I know I literally just got on live. We're going to get more people, but this is going to be a pretty quick stream, 30 to 40 minutes. I got to get on a plane soon. Ashton, you were? Take a look at this. This is what we talked about. Look at all the chances the Euro gives us for a nor'easter here. Watch this. That's one, right? Because we don't know where the precipitation is going to be. Storm system, cold air moving up the coast. That's one opportunity. That's a second opportunity right there. That's a third opportunity right there. Man, 3 chances. If you guys don't get some nice snow along the coast, the mid-Atlantic, maybe even down towards the Carolina coast, up towards the New England coast here, that's tough to miss back-to-back opportunities. 1, 2, 3. But, you know, a little shift of this pattern could shift all 3 in or all 3 out. Looks nice, though. The GFS latest 12Z. Let's look at does almost the same thing. You have an opportunity right there. And look, another opportunity right there. And look, another opportunity right there. 1, 2, 3 chances. What are we looking at? The 540 line running up the coast and moisture running up the coast with it. What's the latest Canadian C? Latest Canadian C's opportunity right there. Another opportunity right there. And then potentially we'll see what happens if this were to tilt. They all see like 3 separate opportunities next week. Your first one probably coming as early as, I trust the Euro a little bit more here. First one coming as early as Wednesday night and the Thursday. Maybe another opportunity as we get into Friday. Maybe another opportunity as we get into Sunday. And I don't think this is just an opportunity for Northeast snow, Mid-Atlantic snow, New England coastal snow. I think this is a chance for Southern snow here. We see our Bear Clinic boundary setting up. We see the 540 line diving into the Gulf. So I don't think it's completely out of the question that one of these storms tries to put snow even like through here. You know what I mean? Into portions of Georgia, Carolinas. Maybe you get some in eastern Texas. I think it's all on the board right now. So oh my God, yeah, and I forgot. Look at the end of the European here as well. Big cold air system driving. This could set up another opportunity for snow somewhere in the south, somewhere up the coast. And this is a lot of clipper snow through the Midwest. Looks cold and snowy from the plains out east through this pattern. I'm glad the Rockies and the West are getting a little bit of snow and got a little bit of cold air here because they're going to get back. They're going to be pushing back into that positive P&A, into that ridge for a little bit of a warm up and dry air. Although I don't know that this, as we get out towards the 22nd and 23rd, I don't know that this won't collapse into the west and actually be better for snow and cold into the west. That could happen as well. North Carolina, the Appalachian Mountains, including Southern Appalachia, don't get out of this time frame here, this 10-day time frame, without getting some okay to decent snow into that region. Well, yeah, but yeah, it is. It's hot in North Carolina today, but that's because right now you're under this right here, right? This cold air is pushing over. Your warm air is going to be pushed out in about 3 to 4 days in North Carolina, and then you're going to enter a period of cooler conditions. You know, we can take a look at our temperature outlook here. This is where we're at right now. Here we go. You're getting to cool down. And even if you're in these average temperatures, like I've been telling you guys, average temperatures, this is average, the gray, average temperatures in the middle of January, it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold, especially in the Carolinas. You're in your average temperatures. You're in the 30s and 40s there. But this is a 6 to 10 day. You get to 3 to 4 week. We're still average to below average across a good portion of the east. Look at that storm system. Wow. Anyways, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over the new models. I'm going to go over the new setup. Give me maybe 5 to 8 minutes to do that, and then I'm going to start answering all your guys' questions. I know people have questions. For anyone wondering, and I sometimes I feel like I talk too much about the East. Here's the thing. Does anyone know what the population difference is if we were to like draw a line right here? I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's like 80% of the U.S. populations is, I think like 70% of the U.S. population is east of the Mississippi. But, you know, I like to make sure I'm covering the West as well. I like covering the Rockies during winter. I know a ton of people come in my streams who are in the Pacific Northwest, so I don't want to leave the Pacific Northwest hanging. I know we always get a lot of people down in Dallas, Houston, Austin in my streams. I try to cover everything. Sometimes I end up talking about the East more just because I would say 8 out of 10 of my questions tend to be people who live in the plains and out east. It's just because there's more population. There's more odds people are going to be asking about that in my stream. But when I see questions not about the East, I'm going to try to always answer them. David, I appreciate the sub. It's just I tend to just get more questions about what's happening on the eastern side of the U.S. than the western side. But more than happy to talk about what's happening on the western side too. Anyways, okay, let's really quickly go through this. How long have I been on? I've only been streaming now for about 7 minutes. Going to be a quick stream, 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to talk about all the new updates, pretty fun updates. Looks cold and snowy for a lot of people here. And then I'm going to get into all the questions. Okay, let me take a sip of this Red Bull because I'm going to be talking quickly. I need my brain to catch up. One more sip. Why did my dad text me? He can wait. All right. I'll call him after this. All right. Here we go. We already know we have the storm system moving up through the Great Lakes region. This storm has consistently shifted slightly north. This isn't going to give anyone big snow. If you want to know next what our snowfall could be from the National Weather Service over the next 72 hours, I'm going to try to do this quickly, guys, so I can answer all of your questions. Here's what the National Weather Service thinks over the next 72 hours. Some good snow down here, as you can see. Listen, the light blues, 1 to 3 inches. The dark blues, 4 to 6 inches. Once you get into the yellows and above, 6 inches to a foot and above. So, not bad snow for the Rockies. Some up here, Northwest, Northern Rockies, Cascades. Maybe, you know, and then maybe some good snow for Wisconsin, and then central to northern Michigan here. A little bit of snow up here, northern New England. High end, you could actually end up with a ton of snow in Michigan and Wisconsin. Maybe even a good amount of snow in southeastern Minnesota. Shout out Rochester. And then look at this. High end snow totals could be huge. Colorado Springs up to Denver. Down here, south central, southeastern Colorado. High end, you guys could get slammed with snow. And this is just, again, it depends on a lot of things. Mountain snow is really hard to predict, so that's why you get these crazy variations between the high end and expected amounts here. And, you know, depending on how your banding works and stuff like that, your snow ratio. But high end, you could actually see a decent amount of snow from this. That's the next 72 hours. Ice forecast really quick. Not much expected, but on the high end, let's watch out down here, south central Minnesota, north central Iowa. And then on the high end, we could get a little bit messy up there, northeastern, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. All right, let's get back to this. Here we go. Getting into late Friday and Saturday. Obviously, severe weather chances down here. Obviously, severe weather chances, and I'll really quickly show you that. Again, I'm getting through this as quickly as I can so I can answer your guys' questions. This will be fast. Here's what our storm system is doing right now. Now, as we get into, I would say, let's watch this down here. As we get into tonight, we start to get some discrete cells firing off through portions of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and western Tennessee. Let's watch out in that region tonight. And then this is where things could get a little bit dicey as we get into Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Really nice Jason, I appreciate the sub. Jason, I appreciate that. Start to get a really nice QLCS forming. Straight through, really dragging this time frame right here. So this would be actually pretty early. This is like still Thursday night, early into Friday morning. But right here, we're talking about 3, 4 in the morning on Friday. And then this is dragging off to the east, getting into Friday afternoon, Friday evening. This severe threat starts to transition out to the southeast here. Now, notice what happens as we get into late Friday. Right here. Pay attention to this as we get into late Friday. Eastern Texas, southern Arkansas, and then central to southern Mississippi. This is where we could get some spin-ups, large hail, and some significant damaging winds late into Friday evening. You get that first squall line that moves through, and then you get some right here. You get some instability that begins to push back up from the Gulf. Some moisture begins to push back up from the Gulf. You get that latent heat release, instability, and then we get another round right through that same area that may see the chance for some severe weather right before that Thursday night into Friday morning, and then again Friday night into Saturday morning. That same exact area gets kind of a double whammy in here. All right, and then this moves out to the east. Taking a real quick look at our SPC outlooks. Here you go. You can see where our 4 panel is. This is our day 1. This is today. Categorical risk, obviously through portions of Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. You guys know where you are. 2% tornado risk, really encompassing most of, or central to southern Illinois, central to southern Missouri, most of Arkansas, and then you can see portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Louisiana. So 2% tornado risk, wind risk. Weird to see a tornado risk and not a hail risk because usually you need updrafts for a tornado, and updrafts cause hail. That's interesting. Anyways, moving on. This is tomorrow. This is when things get a little more dicey. We can see a decent 5% tornado risk down there through portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Larger 2% risk for tornadoes. Have alerts on out here. You're not just going to have a tornado risk down here tomorrow. And I've seen this kind of been trending down. I'm not overly concerned that we're going to get I don't think we're going to get any long track tornadoes, which is good. This is a high shear, low instability day. So you need some good instability to keep these, once a tornado goes down, for it to maintain itself, keep itself going. We'll probably get some weak tornadoes that touch down quickly and pick up. It's not impossible to get a strong tornado, though. But this is tomorrow. Have your alerts on. Also, the chance for flash flooding through portions of, I think, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. Maybe all the way up to West Virginia. We can take a real quick look here at our day 2 excessive rainfall right through here. Have your alerts on. Flash flooding is going to be possible there. Last thing, and I'm going to run through the rest of our model for snow. And then I'm going to get to your questions. Here is what's happening now on Saturday. Now we have Saturday risk. Okay. Marginal. This could go slight. And obviously we got some big cities in here, right? Charlotte, Atlanta, Birmingham, New Orleans, Mobile, whatever. You guys know where you are. A lot of big cities in this region here. So that is something to watch out for on Saturday. I'm obviously named the big cities because there's a lot of population there. But if you're anywhere in here, it doesn't matter if you're in a big city or not. Severe weather does not discriminate. All right. All right, back to here, and then I'll get to your questions. Here we go, pushing out past Saturday into Sunday. Cold air tries to dive back into the east. This is when stuff gets interesting. As we get into the middle of next week, Wednesday, large amplified trough begins to dive down here. We've got a ton of moisture available. We've got tons of cold air diving to the south. You guys know what happens when we get moisture and cold air linking. This is a nor'easter possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? Chances are low, but we have 3 opportunities. You want this storm system to be closer to the coast, obviously, here. This is, obviously, though, freezing air is diving down to the Gulf. This is Thursday. We get into Friday. We have another storm system riding up the coast. We still have freezing air. Look at our 540 line. Another chance for potentially southern snow, coastal snow. The same time, next Friday, we could have a nice clipper system, giving everyone, I don't know if anyone's going to get a lot of snow, but giving everyone a little bit of snow up here. Then we get into Saturday, and what happens here? Another opportunity for southern and coastal snow. We see this here. Obviously, 200 plus hours out, the end of this third opportunity, we don't know if this is going to be here, but the model consensus is crazy. And I'm going to show you that in a second. Southern snow, coastal snow, again, an opportunity right there. Really quickly, this is the last thing I'm going to show you. Why are we even talking about that far out? Well, take a look at this. Take a look at the consensus. GFS sees the same exact pattern here. Opportunity here as we get into next Wednesday, Thursday. Secondary opportunity as we get into Friday. Third opportunity for southern or coastal snow as we get into Sunday. All right, let's take a look at the Canadian. Maybe it's just those 2 models. Here's the Canadian. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you continue to see that 540 line, that cold air and that moisture available down in the south. All of our ensembles are still linked up and still really See a ton of confidence, strong signal for an amplified negative or an amplified ridge, Alaskan ridge, strong negative EPO, and that is going to force downstream cold air. I've talked about it. The only thing that could mess this up is our MJO deciding to quickly amplify into phase 6 and 7. Ha ha ha. All right, 6, 7. Now, I think this was a pretty decent call by me, though, but I said originally this was looking like this, and I said I think this might altogether skip phase 6. I'm glad I said that, because now here's what we're thinking. Maybe we just skip phase 6, go straight into phase 7, and we're already pushing as we get into the 24th, 25th of January into phase 8, which is a cold phase. So I think our oscillation setup is so prominent. I think it's going to ignore. It's so prominent for cold air. I think it ignores the warm signal from the MJO. All right, now I'll take questions. How long did that take me? It was more like 10 minutes. Do you think we'll establish good snowpack for the East that was lost back in December? I mean, like you can see, it depends where you are in the East, but there's 3 opportunities for big snow up and down the coast here, the South, and then you get some clipper snow through the Midwest. You get 1, 2, you get a multiple option. You get 1, 2, 3 kind of clipper systems moving through the Midwest. So, and again, if that MJO is moving into phase 8 as we get into the 25th of January, and we're in phase 8 for early February, maybe the snow stays on the ground for some of us out here for a couple weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, if we're moving into that phase 8 MJO and we stay cold out here going into early February. So there's a possibility there. Upper Michigan could get some good snow right here as we get into Saturday night and Sunday. The high end, you guys could get, I think, 6 inches to a foot. Low end, you're going to get at least a few inches, 3 to 5 inches probably. And then you can see some more lake effect and clipper snow for Michigan over the next week or so, 7 to 10 days. Is there a severe thunderstorm watch now? I don't see any severe thunderstorm watches out right now. Oh, maybe severe thunderstorm watch. I don't see any severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah, there's a lot of people under severe thunderstorm watches. Kind of reminds me of winter 2015. They just got a hip. Yeah, we just need a good storm track. The GFS always has a mind of its own. It shows something exciting and then goes back to what the other models are doing. Well, the GFS, I don't know. You know, the GFS could still end up being correct. I mean, the GFS has actually outperformed the Euro from what I remember so far this season, like 3 separate times. Has actually been more correct than the Euro, which is rare. I think the GFS is having one of its best years. It does get too aggressive a little bit far out sometimes, though. Baltimore snow. Yeah, this is a great pattern to try to get some snow into Baltimore here over the next 10 days. So you think there will be snow late next week out east? Just don't know where. There's going to be snow. Yeah. This pattern is so aggressive with cold air and snow out east. The only thing that could ruin it is maybe that MJO jumping up into phase 6, or this entire troughing system running off the coast, which we're not seeing any signal of that yet or at all. How much snow did you think the northern part of how much snow do I think the northern part of West Virginia will get? These clipper systems would all stall up against the mountains here. So this looks like a pretty good 10-day time frame, 10 to 12-day time frame for West Virginia to get some snow piling up. How much? I don't know. 8 inches to a foot if we do see these clippers lining up like this. Who's how do you say that? Oh, whosoever believes. I appreciate you. NTX, I appreciate you. What's going on, everyone? Appreciate the follows. Appreciate any of the subs. Thank you, guys. All the way to 360 out. Yeah, we don't want to look that far out, but, you know, that's a crazy look by the GFS at the end of that. Or that's the Euro. What's the GFS do all the way at the end of the run here? Yeah, more snow through the Mid-Atlantic there. Look at that. The GFS gives a Mid-Atlantic, watch, nor'easter setup there, a nor'easter setup there, a nor'easter setup here, there. Then it gives the Mid-Atlantic a clipper snow there. Then it gives a Mid-Atlantic clipper snow here. Let's see what the GFS, just for fun, guys. Obviously, don't trust the models this far out. Let's see how much snow the GFS puts here. So it's not a lot. The problem is because these clippers aren't fully connecting. If everything were to, in a magical world, if all of these storm systems were to ride up the coast correctly, you would end up with like 3 feet of snow over the next 8 days in the Mid-Atlantic. The odds of that happening are pretty darn low. But it's just a fun little signal to look at, you know? In a perfect world, for people who like winter, that you would end up with a ton of snow if all these kind of connected here. 1 or 2 could, none maybe. I don't think we're going to get none connecting here. I think we're going to get some snow out there. We're seeing no snow signal in the south, or at least on the future reflectivity, and I don't believe that either. I think we do get a little bit of snow in one of these northern states here, maybe through Arkansas, maybe through northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, into South Carolina, North Carolina. I think someone gets a little bit of snow here. By the way, last night was tough. You were averaging 50 viewers the whole time. Wait, do you mean tough in a good way or in a bad way? Because that's pretty good for my YouTube. It's not too great for TikTok. It's pretty good for my YouTube. Did you see Hawaii had snow? Yeah, it actually happens more often than people think, just because of the elevation. You have to remember, like, also, like, if we were to go to, let's look at our snowfall here, right? Well, okay, it's their summer. This was a really stupid thing to do. But it's their summer down here, and I want to show you something. Where's the equator? Is this our equator right there? That is our equator. Look where this is. Okay, this is like at the same latitude away from the equator as, I mean, we're in Central America. You can get snow. It's summer down here. You can get snow near the equator during summer if you're at a high enough altitude. This is right near the equator. It's snow in the summer down there. Yeah, so it's just because the altitude of some of those mountains in Hawaii. Tough is good. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. But the way he spelled it, T-O-U-G-H. He had a good way. Yeah, I feel like T-U-F-F is the best way to spell it. No, yeah, that's good. I know I saw I got like 1.2K viewers my stream last night on YouTube. I was really happy about that. That's awesome. What about Long Island? Any snow soon? Great signal for Long Island snow here over the next 10 days. In the short term, no. In the midterm is a great signal for snow to fall back out towards Long Island. Yes. The tough snow signal is going to be after the snow moves out of the west. Listen, if you want an opportunity for snow and you're looking at this map, you want to be out here in these blues. You see these blue lines? You see all this moisture? That's snow signals in the east. Everyone's has somewhat of a snow signal in the east. You see all these red? You see this red? You see this ridging? You see these high pressures? You don't want to be over there. Unfortunately, the west is going to go through a little bit of a dry streak here again. Although, looking out towards, like I said, the 22nd, 23rd, I don't know if we might end up getting more cold air collapsed here. I think that might end up with a good end of January anyways. So Indiana, yep, still a good signal for you guys. You're probably, I don't see any mega snowstorms happening for the upper Midwest or for the Midwest Great Lakes region here. Again, if we're going to get a big snowstorm with this pattern, it's going to happen in the south, or it's going to happen potentially up through the Ohio Valley up towards the coast, because this is where our jet stream wants to set up. So clipper snow, possible. Some good clipper snow through here maybe with this pattern as we get into the second and third week of January. But if a big snowstorm happens in this time frame, looking from the 14th of January out through the 22nd of January, really speaking of starting next Wednesday through and about a week out from that, if a big snowstorm is going to happen in that time frame, it's probably going to be out here somewhere. We're probably going to be looking at clippers through here. Voice typing is cooked. I kind of knew it. Yeah, I actually think I spell it T-O-U-G-H too when I say it though. What's going on, Brandon? Kentucky? I mean, hey, you're gonna get a good period here where you're well below freezing. So snow in Kentucky's probably an inevitability through this time frame. I just don't know if you're gonna see a big snowstorm in Kentucky through this time frame. Any nor'easters coming? We've been talking about that. Here's one setup. That could be a nor'easter. Depends how close this storm system gets with this cold air on the coast. Here's your second opportunity right there. You want this closer to the coast. Here's your third opportunity for a nor'easter right there. 3 opportunities on the latest Euro. You see you see these 3 opportunities on the GFS and on the Canadian as well. So the signal's there. You don't get, I mean, this is the best signal we've seen. 3 opportunities back to back to back. Marissa, what's going on? Just got on. How about Ohio? How we looking? You know, in the short term, pretty warm and wet. In the midterm, talking about getting into the middle of next week through next weekend, it's going to get cold and your snow chances are going to go up. We could get some good clipper systems next Wednesday to Sunday pushing out through Ohio. Fairfax, Virginia. I mean, Fairfax, Virginia is in that area I circled. Middle of next week through next weekend into the early week after that, your snow signal's out there. This is where storms are going to try to set up, right? This is where storms are going to try to set up. Now, do we have a storm track like this? putting some snow in the south. Is our storm track like this, setting up a nor'easter? Do we get a storm track like this for some Ohio Valley, inner New England snow? This is going to be the question. But your big snowstorms want to set up roughly in this region that I'm circling here as we get into the middle of next week through next weekend. This is going to be the target area. I think Clippers could barrage us, through this region here. But if you're talking about a big snow event, this is going to be the area to be. Obviously, this is a little far south. I don't know if we're going to go like that. It's possible down here, but maybe I just go like that. It's possible down there. I don't want to get anyone too excited. You got what type of storm? What type of storm do we got going on over there in the UK? Let me see something real quick. Holy smokes! I've been busy. I'm sorry, Europe. I haven't been paying attention. Holy smokes! That looks like a freaking land hurricane. Look at that bad boy. Holy crap. Why did no one tell me this was going on? Connor, stop focusing on just America. Okay, we don't have, that's annoying. We don't have precipitation type on here, but I'm sure it's freezing out here. I'm sure the temperatures are pretty cold out here. Let's take a look. Let me go. Europe. Oh, this isn't going to work. Real-time mesoscale analysis. It's only in the States. Yeah. Okay. Let me get back over to Europe. Europe. Let me just go into Euro temperature anomalies. So yeah, so a lot of this is there's probably a lot of snow falling right with this, right? Because it's cold out here. You have cold temperature anomalies out here. This is a crazy looking storm. Oh wow, look at the radar. That's crazy. Look at the radar. This is a crazy looking storm right here. Did it snow in? Did it snow in Paris? Did it snow in? Why does it? I have a feeling it snowed in Paris. It's snowing so much in. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong. Leicester. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong. Wow. It's snowing and raining and 100-mile-per-hour winds tonight. Red alert. Yeah, sorry guys. I have been ultra busy and getting ready to go on this trip. I normally know what's going on elsewhere. This is I actually saw something about this and I was just too busy making videos on what's going on in the States to look over here. But crazy storm. Crazy storm. And that's another reason why I'm looking forward to doing this full time, because having 2 kids and 2 full-time jobs, I only really have time to discuss really, contiguous America. I don't even get to look at Hawaii and Alaska as much as I want to, just because of my time constraints. But this is a wild looking system here. Why is that ringing? 1 second. What the heck? All right. Yeah. Once I get doing this full time, I'll be able to cover everything. I'll be able to cover weather globally. Obviously, I'll still focus on the States, but I'll be able to cover weather globally. Crazy storm. I'm sure we'll get a lot of records broken out of this thing, and I'll probably make a video on what happened, what the aftermath of that storm did. I'll get some more information on it. That's crazy. All right. Here, wait. Yeah, let me check that real quick. What's it called? It's called Ferrum. I know I'm gonna pronounce all these names over here wrong with my stupid American accent. Oh yeah, you guys are in this thing. Look at this. You guys are in this thing. Look at the center of the low pressure. You know what this storm reminds me of? Have you guys ever seen The Day After Tomorrow? You guys ever seen The Day After Tomorrow? This reminds me of when like there's those massive storms going over each continent. This is what it looked like. And when the eye would come over, everyone would freeze. And Unalive. That's what this reminds me of. Wild looking setup here. Yeah, your winds probably aren't too bad down here in southern England right now, just because you're in here, but they're gonna pick back up. This is crazy. Crazy looking storm. Wow. Belgium is about to get smashed. Brussels, Belgium. You guys are about to get smashed. Wow. Wild. I mean, this thing is from Spain all the way up to almost Scotland. Out through Austria. That's crazy. All right, anyways. Let's get back here. Right. I want to answer more questions. So I know people have a lot of big questions of what's coming up here in the pattern, and I can't be on for that much longer because, like I said, I got to get on a plane soon. But shame on me for not paying more attention to Europe. Like I said, it's just a it's just a time constraint, guys. I have a very, very busy life, so I try to get as much information as I can about the States out. But I'll be doing this full time hopefully by the end of 2026, and then I'll be able to focus on the entire world. All right. Denise, I appreciate you. Did I hear about Juno? I don't know. Should I have? I know we have blizzard warnings across portions of southern Alaska right now, so they're having some fun up there in Alaska. I see signals for snow in southeast Texas on the 12Z Euro during January 17 timeframe. How accurate would that be? It's 100% a possibility. And why is it a possibility? Because we have model consensus. So it's not just the Euro seeing it. The GFS sees maybe doesn't show the snow signal, but it shows the same pattern. The Canadian shows the same pattern. So it's a real signal, 16th through the 18th for Texas snow. It's a real signal. We'll have to wait for a little bit more confidence, though. They had like 80 inches of snow in 3 days or something. Wow, that's crazy. That is wild. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, taking a look here, let's go to North America. They have multiple storm systems that are going to continue to slam into the coast of British Columbia and up through southern Alaska, too. They're not quite done yet. You can see all of that energy up there. Look at this. Got a 967 low off the coast. This is a lot of snow for Western Canada, a lot of snow for southern Alaska here over the next few days. I mean, maybe over the next 10 days. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. Alaska is going to be in quite a cold, snowy pattern here until we get that ridge building up again. Yeah. Any snow for southwest Louisiana? There's an opportunity. There's your opportunity right there, right? That's the Euro. Let's take a look at the GFS at the same time frame. GFS does have that baroclinic boundary, does have that 540 line running straight through Louisiana. Is it possible? It's possible. It's a signal, but it's tough. You need some luck on your side here to get snow that far south. You got it last year. I don't know if it's southwest. I think, did you get any in southwest Louisiana last year? How's New York City going to get snow next week if it says the temps are going to be in the 40s? Well, let's take a look. Why don't we? Let's take a look. You're probably taking a look at your weather app or something. Let's go and take a look at the Mid-Atlantic. Okay. Here we go. Let's get out towards where temperatures really start to get cold. I don't know. That looks like temperatures below freezing. That looks like temperatures below freezing. Thursday, below freezing almost all day. Friday, below freezing almost all day. Saturday, below freezing all day. Sunday, below freezing all day. Monday, below freezing all day. Oh, Tuesday, Wednesday, below freezing. I mean, it's as you get into the middle of next week, towards next weekend, you could be below freezing for quite a long time in New York City. If you're looking at your weather app, it's probably just taking it. It's probably looking at the ensemble or the GFS or something. No, the freezing air is there on the models. Yep. Please send some snow to Virginia. Our snow, we're losing all of our snow again. We've had like a foot of snow on the ground twice here in Minneapolis, and we're gonna lose it again. I can't complain. We've done okay so far. We've got about 20 inches of snow this year so far, 18, 20 inches. But we average about 52. Snow in the PC region, of South Carolina. I don't know what that is. But again, if you're going to get snow in South Carolina, this is going to be your opportunity with this pattern. You can see it trying to put snow into the Carolinas here on the Euro, and the GFS gives you even a better opportunity. How's Jackson, Missouri looking tonight? Trying to remember where Jackson, Missouri is. Southeastern Missouri? Yeah, you could get a little bit... Let's sleep with your weather alerts on. I don't think the worst of the severe... You're not going to be in the worst of the severe weather. I think that's going to be to your south, but I'd be precautious. Spin-ups, I think, would probably stay south of that region. Tornado-wise, hail-damaging winds may be possible as we move through tonight. Yeah. Okay, I got to get off here in a second before I get in trouble. How's the Oklahoma Panhandle looking? Again, you take a look at the Euro here, putting snow down in northern Texas, maybe Oklahoma here in this time frame, 15th through the 17th. We'll have to see. The GFS and Canadian, I think, want to keep our jet stream a little bit, or our coldest air a little bit farther out to the east and keep Oklahoma a little warmer. But the Euro, which is a good winter cold air model, likes the opportunity of that 540 line collapsing into Texas and maybe igniting a little bit of a storm down here. So, yeah. Signal, I wouldn't say you have the strongest signal because the consensus really wants to put the strongest snowstorms out here, but maybe a little bit of a signal for western Oklahoma. Back-to-back nor'easter chances and southern snow chances. 1, 2, 3. You like to see it, and we're not totally in la-la land, so you like to see it. Guys, I'm going to get off. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to Florida to see family for a few days. I'm going to be gone. I leave this evening. I get back Monday. So I'm going to try to put out a video Monday night and live stream. If I can't put out a video, definitely live stream Monday night. I'll probably live stream a little bit while I'm in Florida just from my phone, just to catch up, let you guys know if I think anything significant's going on. But I appreciate all you. Appreciate any of the follows and the subs, guys. Seriously. Anyone who's gifted, anyone who's in here helping the algorithm, as always. Appreciate my mods. I am trying to really make a push on YouTube just because it's hard to... TikTok is not very content creator friendly. So if you do follow me on TikTok and you want to sub to me on YouTube, that'd be awesome. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on TikTok. Definitely for a little bit longer. I'm not going anywhere from TikTok right now, but yeah, that's kind of the platform I'll be moving to in the future. You guys are awesome. Everyone have a great day. Stay safe, and let's hope that this fun winter signal continues for a lot of you guys in the south and out east. Thank you. God bless. Safe travels. I appreciate that, everyone. Like I said, you guys are awesome. I'll see you later. I'll try to get back quickly. I'll try not to be gone for too long.